How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. Welcome to my channel and welcome to an update on the update. That is right. If you have been paying attention, you know on August the 12th or August the 13th, let me find that information for you, depending on what time zone you live in, it either would have been late on the night of August 12th or early morning, early midday, August the 13th, we were expected a big update. I was very excited about it. I made a big video. It has over 10,000 views. You guys seemed very excited about it too. And it was delayed. We got this seemingly innocuous message. It's been delayed because of issues with the App Store. There we go. So it seems nothing too crazy, right? Well, if you've been keeping track of the date, it is now a full 10 days later. Things have been very strange in the game. Just a lot less events that we thought were coming have actually come. The banners are all different. Was Destined wrong? Were the Leak Boys wrong? No, they weren't. This is all a consequence of the big delay in the update. So if you saw my video on this or Destin's video on this with all these banners, where the heck did they all go? We're going to explain all of that in this, and I'm also going to give my internal messages and everything I've heard, because I do have a direct line to the dev team, everything they have told me behind the scenes. I don't have, if you want to watch this video to know the hard date or the hard time it's coming, I do not know that, but I do know that things seem to be going well behind the scenes and there's nothing to worry about. So if you just want to know about that, you also get that information now. If you want to hear my full breakdown, my full communication, and my explanation for what the heck is going on with the events and the banners, stick with me in this video, and I'll see you guys in a sec.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Alrighty, I know most of you are usually most interested in the banners. I think sometimes rightfully so. That will be the second half of this video. I will make a chapter so you can skip ahead to that if that's all you want to see. I want to talk now about my lines of communication and everything I know. I will tell you right now before I get into it, there I believe is some kind of cultural difference between, this being a kind of business based in an East Asian culture, perhaps, or maybe it's a Chinese thing, or maybe it's just this specific company culture compared to like what I'm used to in America and maybe some of you are used to. Because when I talk to them, I'm telling you that nothing is wrong, or at least that is their demeanor. It doesn't click, I think, fully why I'm not exaggerating, probably close to 100 messages between my chat, my comments, and my DMs about, is the game dying? Is everything exploding? Is this such a big bad thing? To them, they're like, oh, delays happen. We told you about it 24 hours later. I guess it wasn't even, it was like 4 hours later. We told you about it. We sent that little, hey, updates delayed notice, and that's enough. Whereas like the culture I come from would be much more, hey, constant, news. Oh, even no news is still news, and expecting some kind of in-game notice, in-game mail. So when I read this communication, you will see me continually urging them to make an in-game announcement. And yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as some of you guys, but I don't think it fully has clicked with the developers and the dev team and our contacts why people are frustrated, or I think most importantly, concerned about this, and why people think it could be a bad omen. So I would appreciate if you guys could explain that in the comments in your own words if you're so inclined, so it's not just coming from me. If you do feel that way, if you feel differently, also explain that in the comments. I don't think the sky is falling. They certainly don't think so. I think we are A-okay, but I do think there is some kind of, I think it's a cultural disconnect with why, to them, they're like, hey, we told you it was delayed. That's enough. It comes when it comes. To other people, like, yeah, we want continuous information on, even if it's still delayed, telling us it's still delayed. I think there is a cloudiness to it that has peeved some people. I've calmed down a good bit. I kind of see where they're coming from. But if you feel a certain way, please do let us know in the comments. Let's get into that communication right now. So the first time I reached out was almost exactly 24 hours after the update would have happened. So this was on August the 13th, late that evening. So for some of you, early August the 14th that morning, I said, we were talking about other stuff. We do talk every day, so I do have a good line with them. But I said, also, do you have an ETA for the update? I'm getting bombarded in my DMs and in my stream. I was streaming while I messaged this, doing my epic challenge. Go check it out. I'm seeing lots of messages in my stream as well with people asking. They say, for the update, sorry, we don't have any ETA. And then almost 24 hours after that, so this is late on the evening of August the 14th, early morning August the 15th, depending on your time zone, I said, and then are there any more updates? Again, we were talking about other stuff. I said, and then any update at all on the update? Any update on the update? I said, people are getting restless, and even an in-game notification, an in-game notice, just saying you guys are waiting and we'll let everyone know as soon as you know something. I said, I think that would calm things down. I think that would make people happy. They said, not yet, unhappy face, still waiting for a response from iOS. So still sticking to that isn't an Apple problem. At this point, I do believe them. I mean, I can do some conspiratorial theory crafting at the end of this video if you guys would like. But there you have it. I didn't press the issue much more until very, very recently. I basically said, and this was yesterday at 6:30 a.m. my time, so that was August the 21st. So at that point, a full 9 days after the update was going to come, I said, by the way, about the update, some people are going a bit crazy, saying because, and I had multiple people say this to me, saying because you guys haven't made an announcement with any news, maybe the game is about to die or something like that, like Dragonair. I had multiple people reference Dragonair, which if you don't know is going out of service in America. A lot of people are starting to think now, is this a bad omen? Why are they not telling us things? Again, I don't want to take too big a judgment. You can probably guess where I lean, but too big a judgment on if it's such a bad thing or such a good thing or such a whatever thing, if it's noteworthy or not that they haven't told anyone else anything to us. But I wanted to relay that message to them. So in response, they said, why would they have such concerns? And then I immediately responded, like that minute. This was a couple hours later. They answered because it's when their Chinese day is starting, their work day. Very hard for me to be in communication with them all the way in Utah, USA, when they're all the way in Shanghai, China. But if we look over here, I said, because radio silence for a week is atypical, haha. And like, yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world, but I think this is where I hope no one was offended when I said it was a cultural thing. This is where I do think I'm observing a cultural disconnect, because it wasn't even computing, I think, that no news for well over a week is concerning to people. I think to them, it's like, no, we directly communicated it was a delay and that's enough information. And that delay could be 1 day or a year, apparently, who knows, right? But to me, I'm saying, well, a lot of people expect, when something has gone awry, which, if this is all the App Store's fault, that's fine. But clearly something still went wrong. You expect some kind of regularity in notice, in news, in updates on the delayed update. Their response to that was, if viewers do ask, please let them know we're operating well and there is no need to worry, exclamation point. I will suggest the idea of making an announcement to the developers, and we'll continue to monitor the community's response. So this is obviously my developer contact, the comms person. So they're going to look into it. Maybe we'll get an announcement soon about it. Maybe we'll get an update soon about it. I would say I'm pretty confident. I think they're shooting fairly straight. I'm not 100% confident in the App Store thing. Again, I'll put my conspiratorial hat on at the end. Who knows? It doesn't really matter why it was delayed, but that might be some fun. But I am supremely confident there's nothing to worry about with the health of the game. I mean, the game is, for where we're at right now, and I wasn't planning on talking about this, but if you guys don't know, the game has its ebbs and flows, and we can see it very clearly in our analytics, because it's not like 1 week my videos are way better than the week before. What happens is interest in the game gets higher or lower, and that is how you can kind of see those fluctuations. Ask any content creator. It's a nice and interesting barometer to track game health, game growth, those kind of things. Essentially, what's gone on is we had the anniversary, then we had kind of a post-anniversary dip, and now we're kind of back to normal performance plateaus from what I can tell. And it's a very normal performance, and you can see they're still pushing stuff. They're still figuring out stuff with events. I feel like I would have gotten a different tone and very different messages if they did think the sky was falling. Everything I've seen from looking at revenue stuff online, the game is still doing well, especially for a game of this size. For a game of this size, with this kind of player base, the game is making a lot of money. So this will not be a Dragonair situation. No way. But because of the update delays, people are uneasy. So again, if you want to explain, maybe you can articulate it. Probably someone out there can articulate it far better, maybe many of you, than I could. Let me know in the comments. And this is a great dev contact, and she watches the vast majority of my videos. And when I tell her, hey, there's stuff in the comments you should go read, she always looks. And her colleague as well, if they have time. So certainly, if you want to express something, maybe in a very polite terms, maybe trying to bridge this, again, cultural gap, that'd be pretty sweet. I would really appreciate that. Let's talk about the juicy juice, the stuff everyone cares the most about. That obviously is going to be the banners. So, none of the banners are right. Destin is a fool and the Leak Boys are frauds, right? No, not at all. They were right. All this stuff was right. All this stuff was prepped. However, it could not be launched, it could not be activated without an update. So an update never came, so all this stuff is on ice, and I would not be surprised. So maybe you could expect this tentatively. They also could just stick to their guns and we'll get Lizard Day, even though we already got our Lizard Day promo and the Lizard Day events last week never happened because the update never came. We might still get, a Hex and Zarus banner, even though we're getting Hex now. We might still get an Elwyn and Magnus banner, even though we just got Ellen, but I think it's unlikely. These were just new ways to push out Hex and Eloin. I think now they've had to go to old stuff already in the existing game file to relaunch these rerun banners I will discuss in a minute. I think in no way Destined and the Leak Boys were wrong at all. This stuff just literally needs an actual App Store patch and live update to activate these certain banners, right? This is something maybe we could get, but it's like, hey, we're already getting Fasti now with Hex. They might have to rethink a lot of these banners. Without question, we know Numera will come. There's no reason to think, unless the update's delayed even further. Like, we haven't used Valeria yet, so there's no reason that wouldn't happen. We would think the Soul Cadence Eunomia would happen. I actually would think this might already be active in the file. As you can see, we did get the King Hearts Ardia banner. They had pre-activated that last update, I believe, so that is fine. But the new things, like this Magnus Ellen banner that had never been seen before, that's a hard delay, right? Because that was contingent upon the update. Lust is so far off and so speculative it doesn't matter. This Zarus Hex thing, obviously that is going to be, they can't add or activate Zarus in the game. Not yet. We that can't happen without an update, so that will be a hard delay, and likely I would presume they will pair Zarus with someone else. I presume this banner will get scrapped altogether. This one may already be active. You'd have to go ask Destin and the Leak Boys about that specifically, but I'm sure there's no reason to think we won't get some kind of Soul Cadence banner if they already kind of had it on their planned docket. This banner, I would guess, is completely unaffected unless the update's delayed farther, and then we get some different Valeria banner. This already happened. And this one perhaps could be trash because we're getting Fasti right now, which let me quickly use that as a transition to say my second video today, and I am back to 2 videos a day. My knee's feeling pretty good. It's bent under the table, which doesn't feel nice, but I'm doing my best. But I will do a Should You Summon on the Hex Fasti banner. A lot of people should. It's a heck of a banner. We'll cover that. So that's basically where it comes with the banner, so do not go attacking Destin or Leak Boys. I've had a couple comments, I think one serious and then a couple jokes. Being like, they were so wrong, you guys were wrong, Destined is wrong. No, this is all contingent upon, hey, these are the banners coming with the next update. There was no update, so that's kind of where we are at. I hope this has answered a lot of your questions, guys. Let's just wrap this up with I guess I said I put on that conspiratorial hat, and we can address, the things I'm thinking about. Is that enough pop-ups? It is enough pop-ups. Excellent. Basically, whether it's an App Store issue or not, and I'll tell you what I think the possibilities are, the update is delayed, and I think it's delayed it's weird how cloudy they made it because of the lack of communication. But again, I just think that's because they didn't think that they needed to communicate any more than this message that's going to pop up, right? Imagine if this red dot was the update coming. This whole video in the trash. No, but I think this update announcement they found to be sufficient, or excuse me, the version update delay announcement they found to be sufficient. However, I wouldn't read too far into it. Certainly not yet. I will remain in constant communication, especially if you guys can light up those comments. I will be sharing this directly with our contacts so they can review it. And maybe, comms has never been their strength. They're good at listening. They really are. For a game like this, they're not that good at communicating. So if we could get them a bit better at that, I think that would be awesome. It'd make my life easier because there'd be less people, reaching directly out to me as if there's anything I can do half the time. But maybe this video is something we can do. Basically, I think either it literally is an App Store thing and the App Store, they submitted it and the App Store just delayed. To me, that exact version is very unlikely. What I would guess happened is, because if you don't know, if you submit an app to an App Store for an update or a patch or something, it's not like the App Store is like in 24 hours, there you go. It can take 1, 2, 3 weeks. And this game has never messed up an update before. So I would guess they usually submit a patch update. This is kind of why they have Forerunner, why they have Test Server. They submit it weeks in advance. I would guess 2 or 3 weeks in advance. They're good to go. My guess is either the App Store found a problem with something in that update, or the developers themselves realized after submission a problem in that update, right? So then they're like, oh, we actually have to do this patch instead, and tried to quick fix it maybe within a week or days before the update was going to happen. The App Store does not care about this game. I bet the App Store doesn't really care about any game. So the App Store's like, no, okay, you're at the back of the line again. It will be reviewed in the normal process, and that is the source of the update. That's the number one issue I think it is. That would be the big guess. Could it be something like, oh, the App Store caught them with their hand in the cookie jar, kind of doing something nefarious? It's possible. Could it be they submitted the update and then they realized they did a bunch of million things wrong and they had to make a new update from scratch? Yeah, it's possible. I think really what happened was they had to be some quick change at the end, maybe even a small thing, but something that had to be addressed because the App Store found something or the developers found something. But because of that, it set back the whole process potentially like 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully, it's only going to be like another days or a week. But at this point, it is Thursday. I would expect the update won't come until next week, if I'm being completely honest. That is my prediction. As soon as I get more information, I will let all of you guys know. I hope you appreciate this video. I hope you can tell I'm a bit more clear-headed today. I know some people said I was kind of like meandering in my thought yesterday, and to that I say, correct. That is exactly what was happening. Huge thank you again to R-Type for editing that. You should have seen the unedited version. I was very looped up, but I wanted to get my content out. I hope you guys do appreciate this. Someone said in my comments that they appreciate that I treat this like a job. I treat it like a job because it literally is my job. It really is, and I don't like taking days off from work. It's kind of how I view it. Is my work really fun? Yes, but is it still my work? Yes. So I'm staying on it. You can see I'm a little bit more lucid today. I hope this answers some of your questions. I think this video is not for everybody, but I hope some of you appreciate it. If you do, let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Subs, again, they're down this week, so if we can get them back up, that would be awesome. Hit that notification bell. Share it with your mother. I've been Fastidious. I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.